Hi, I'm Mr. Barton. I'm the theater teacher here at Lewis Middle School. Today what we're going to do is we're going to make some unmeltable ice cream. We're going to do this as a prop. Now you might want to ask yourself, why don't we just use regular ice cream? Well, in theater and television and film, if we tried to use real ice cream, it would probably melt before we get everything done. This way we can actually make some ice cream, but it's still edible by our actors. Okay? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some cookies and cream ice cream. So we're going to take some of our Oreos, or in this case, HEB Twisters, and we're going to crush them in a bag, which I've got an assistant here. Let's take 6 or 7 of those, put them in a plastic bag and crush it. Now, the most important item we have is going to be our cake frosting. Our cake frosting here is whipped, which is going to give us a better consistency. We're going to use that as well as some powdered sugar. Now, there isn't a perfect ratio to figure out how much you need. You just need to mix them together. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I've got my spatula, and I'm going to take out my whipped frosting. And notice the whipped frosting is very thick. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to make it look like ice cream. We tried using regular cake frosting before, but it was a little bit too goopy. In other words, it just kind of went all over the place. So I'm going to take out this vanilla whipped frosting into our mixing bowl. Get one more big scoop of this, just like so. And this particular brand is Duncan Hines, but it doesn't matter the brand. You can go cheap, you can go expensive, as long as it's whipped, because whipped has got a little extra air into it, and it's going to make it a lot stiffer. And that's what we want for our ice cream. Okay, how are we doing on crushing those Oreos? Good? All right. So, as we add this in here, again, we just have to want to use as much as this topping as possible. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in our powdered sugar. Powdered sugar, not regular sugar, because the powdered sugar is going to dissolve a lot easier into our mixture. And I'm going to use about half a bag, which is a lot. So I'm just going to put a little bit in at a time. Then mix it, because if we put it all in there at one time, it's basically going to get all over the place. So again, you just take a spoon, a spatula in this case, and we're just going to mix it up until all of that sugar gets incorporated with the icing. And it's going to kind of look like bread dough. If you've ever made any sort of bread dough, like with your parents, this is a very easy thing to do. And we're just going to fold the sugar in over and over again until it gets nice and stiff. Now this is going to be very sweet, but that's the price you pay. All right, let's add some more sugar. Now, if you wanted to make chocolate ice cream, you can just get chocolate whipped icing to begin with. Okay? You don't necessarily need to put any food colorings or anything like that in here. But we're going to continue adding more and more and more until it gets nice and stiff like bread dough.
Is that good?
That looks good. All right, thank you very much. Just leave it right there. Again, we're just going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing until it gets nice and stiff. We're almost there. And when your hand starts getting really tired, that tells you it's pretty close. Just going to add a little bit more sugar into this. Probably won't use the whole half bag, but just enough here so that way it just comes all together. Now our last and final step is to make this look like cookies and cream ice cream, is to add some cookies. Now if we wanted to make it vanilla, we could just use this as it is, but let's have a little fun and add some cookies to this. I prefer the big chunks because then it actually looks like ice cream rather than just one big gray mush. All right, that looks pretty stiff. Now let's go ahead and get our ice cream cones. I'm going to take one right here, and we have our ice cream scooper. And let's have our first person come on up. And now I'm just going to scoop this, dish it out, and as you can see, it looks just like a scoop of ice cream. There you go. All right, so, come back over here real quick. Can you tell everyone how does it taste?
Very sweet.
Taste. All right, great. And that's how you make fake ice cream that won't melt for stage, television, or theater.